record button yet. But yeah, let me give a shout out Almond Brown and Addie. What's happening, ladies? And y'all can click that link to the people in the chat, man, if y'all want to hop on here, okay? So Almond Brown, you are new to the Hangouts here. What would you like to say either about the story or about our platform? We're the AFC, so what would you like to say about our platform?
Just about the platform, period. When I saw it, it kind of tugged on my heart about the kids and what's going on, the different stories. I'm trying not to cry.
And can you tell them what race you are, since we got black women in the chat who says I hate black women?
Oh, I'm a proud black woman. Hi.
Oh, okay. So apparently you don't think I hate black women. How is that even possible?
Wow, that's sad. That is so sad. It's just too much going on in this world in 2020. It's crazy, but it just touched my heart to see your podcast when I saw how you were fighting for the kids, trying to get justice for them, and the stories. I never ever in my life heard of stuff like that happening to babies.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that their parents, their step parents doing stuff like this to these babies, not caring. I'm someone who I want to have kids. I don't even know if I can have kids, and they're killing their babies, doing this crazy stuff to these babies.
Can I ask you a question as a black woman? I got a question I got to ask you, and you got to forgive me because my skin has gotten rather thick over time just because of the fact that I do this so often, and it's sad that, you know, I've become hardened and I do care, you know what I'm saying? I guess I just kind of show my emotion a little bit different, so don't ever mistake it. Like, they definitely bother me, but sometimes you got to kind of be a little jovial because these stories are so difficult and you got to get through them, you know what I mean, and talk about this stuff. But your perspective as a black woman, as far as I believe, in my opinion, that if we're going to prove to the world that Black lives matter, then how is it that we can't step out there and show people and show the world, instead of speaking a message, we can be the message and show it in our actions? And it just doesn't seem like we have a whole lot of that as far as us representing ourselves and showing like, yeah, we love black people too, as opposed to us going out and doing such heinous things to each other. You know what I'm saying? Does that kind of make sense?
It makes sense, and it's sad. I mean, it's like we want to fight against people that's killing us, but we're killing us. Like, it's like, come on, y'all. So we got to advocate for one another.
Let me ask you this as a black woman. I almost keep forgetting my question, but because my memory is really, really bad, and I got the other person on the line here. Give me a second, and I'm gonna get to you. Hold on, let me see if I can remember my question. God, my memory is so horrible.
I can't even say about anything about memory. Mine is horrible.
Okay.
But I've had 2 head injuries, so.
Here we go. As a black woman, how is it that these pro-blacks, and y'all saw I had 2 people I had to block in my chat that said that apparently, you know, what they said something about me, white people, something. I don't know. I read it a minute ago. But out of everything that can you call in? Yes, you can call in. Click the link. The link is right there. Miss June Bennett posted the link for you. They talk about if black women matter so much, why is it that they don't care about black girls? If black women matter so much.
What?
Don't you think that's fucking hypocritical?
Yeah. Yeah.
Black women matter. Black women should be protected, but fuck black girls?
That doesn't make sense.
That's literally what we're saying. If you cross the threshold of, I guess, being able to bear children, then I guess now you need to be protected. But I guess all up and through that, and see what's so messed up about
it doesn't matter.
What's so messed up about that is you're going to end up getting a whole generation of black girls that have never been protected and have been abused their whole life. Then all of a sudden, they need to be quote unquote protected. And what are they going to do if they've been abused their entire lives? They're going to take that shit out on everybody else.
Out on their kids. On their kids and everybody else around them. And then the cycle just keeps on going. Just keeps repeating.
And to that person, anything is possible, or whoever that was, you can hop back on. I was getting ready to let you speak, so I'm sorry about that. If you are listening in the chat, you can hop back in. Just click that link. Somebody said, how do I call in? You just click the link from whatever device you're watching, which is the link that Miss June Bennett is posting in there. You just touch that link or click that link. It'll bring you in here, and then you just have to have a microphone. You ain't even got to have a camera, but just click that, and it'll allow you to come on. So I know a lot of you guys are not familiar with how StreamYard works, but you can learn. So this is Almond's.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's Almond's first time on here.
It watching.
And we got Addie on here. Addie,
Sorry,
tell me what,
Addie.
What do you think about this? What do you think about this story? And as far as even like with people making comments in the comment section, what do you think?
Well, I don't appreciate it when people say shit like that. I don't get it. I don't get where she's coming from with that. And I feel like it's disrespectful to you and to us, but it's more disrespectful to the baby. Like, we're trying to talk about this baby and you're trying to make it about race. Why is it about race? She's a little child. I mean, it's mind-boggling. I know that trolls are like, some people like say stuff to get us upset. Mm-hmm. And so I try not to let it make me upset. But some of these people are genuine. And
they just want attention. They haven't had a hug today. They need somebody to pay attention to them, whether it's negative or positive. They just want attention.
Yeah,
I could see that.
Okay,
that makes sense, because if you say something negative in the chat, that's for sure going to get attention. Like,
mm-hmm.
All right, we got Dolores on here. So Dolores, if you would, you just got to connect the microphone. So either turn your mic on or select the microphone, and you should be able to hop on here. And then it'll allow me to click you in here so you can chat with us. So Dolores, if you can hear me, then you just have to connect a microphone or enable your microphone. So just click mic, and then and you can tell it which microphone you want to use, and then I can bring you in here. But I'll tell you this, I don't think it's just like a random situation where like random trolls are coming in and saying stuff. And the reason I say that is because I've watched the comment section over years, and I've watched different kinds of people, because I've heard Tommy say this, and shout out to Tommy, by the way, but it seems like a lot of these type of people, they all repeat the same rhetoric. And one thing that I've noticed is a pattern that a lot of these women are saying the exact same things, even though they all might come from different backgrounds and stuff like that. So I actually believe that that's actually how those people feel, even though it seems like they're all just saying the same thing. I don't think they're trolls. I think that's really what they believe. We got Dolores and Lorraine on the line. One of you ladies, speak to me. What's up? What's up?
Hi.
Hey,
Can you hear me? Hi.
Hey, Lorraine.
All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass the mic off real quick. So let me go ahead and let Dolores speak. Lorraine, hold on just a moment. Don't hang up. So Dolores, what would you like to say about this?
I'm gonna say something that probably everybody's gonna think I'm crazy, but let me give you my opinion, and it is just my opinion. But I have women were meant to have a little pain when we have our babies, and the epidural takes away like a whole lot of that pain, and it takes away from the bonding that a woman has with her baby when she has it. Unfortunately, in this generation, doctors push for epidurals. Women are having babies with very little pain, and the bond is not there. Unfortunately, that to me makes it easier for them not to worry too much about what's going to happen to their baby, or the minute the baby gets a little bit hurt, it's like all they want to do is just stop the baby from crying. Do you guys think that could be a reason why women are finding it a little too easy to hurt their children?
Hold on just a second. Laura, you got to pause the YouTube in the background, so that way it doesn't feedback.
Makes it easier for them not to worry.
Yeah, just hit that pause button on the YouTube stream. Can you hear me, Laura?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure you paused the YouTube so that way that it was feedbacking, so we could all hear that.
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
I did.
But Dolores, do you want to pose your question again? Like I said, we got all ladies on the line, and y'all can click that link if you want to hop on. But you want to pose your question again? Like, do you think that it's the fact that these women aren't able to bond with these kids as far as
Because the epidural stops you from having a whole lot of pain. I mean, there's other drugs we can use to have less pain when we're having a baby. The pain that we have when we have a baby, that is where you create the bond. Like, I'm never going to let nothing happen to this baby because it hurt too much for me to have it, and I love it, and I went through that pain. The epidural is stopping a woman from feeling that pain, so it's less love for the baby. And I think that's why women are finding it too easy to hurt them and not care what really happens to them at certain points of their life. I don't know, does it make any sense to y'all what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
No, it makes sense.
And let me pass the mic to Lorraine here real quick. And Matt, I see you on the line. Just hold on just a moment because we got 6 people on here. Kinshasa, if you can hear me, just hold on. We got 6 people on here. We'll let people answer, and then we'll swap you guys out. So I see both of you guys. I see Matt and Kinshasa on the back end there. So just hold on a moment. Lorraine, do you want to answer that or speak your thoughts?
Well, I've never given birth to a child yet, but I think sometimes, like, I think some of those women, you know, they didn't want the baby in the first place. Maybe they felt pressured to have the baby, you know.
Okay, you got to explain that to me. Your
I
boy,
feel you now.
your boy,
You know, like
DJ
from
Lost
family,
on
like,
here.
okay, for instance, I had a friend and she was pregnant and she didn't want to keep the child, but it's like her mom and her family members were like pressuring her, no, you need to go ahead and have the baby. You know, they're pro-life.
Give us a little more context. How old was she?
Like 30 something, like 32. Yeah, yes.
Wow.
Tell her to have a kid or not, that's crazy.
Oh,
Yeah.
my Lord, girl,
That's crazy.
you better get out here with that bull crap.
I know. I was like, girl. You know what I'm saying? She already had, you know, and then, I mean, that's, hey.
So okay, well, let me because y'all know how I feel about it. I'm gonna let you guys speak, and then we're gonna swap people out. We also got Keyshawn and Beverly. We got Kinshasa and Matthew. So I'm gonna let Laura speak, and I'm gonna let Addie speak, and then we're gonna swap people out here so we can get some more people on here. Laura,
Okay.
give your thoughts on that. What do you think about anything? Just give me your thoughts.
The only thing that I really wanted to speak on was, you know, the people were on here saying that, you know, when a child is abused, they grow up and start abusing and it's a vicious cycle, but that's not true. Not all abused children become abusers themselves. Like, I was abused my whole life. My entire life I was abused. And I could never, ever, ever imagine hurting my children or my grandchildren in any kind of way like that. So it's not always, you know, they've been abused, so now they're tainted and ruined for the rest of their lives, because I'm living proof that you can get through it and you can try to live, you know, the best form of a normal life that you could possibly find and leave it in the past. It's hard, you know. I'm faced with memories of it every day. I'm faced with scars of it every day. But there's nothing in this world that could ever happen to me that would make me hurt my children.
So what do you think about the story that we did tonight? And then I'll let Addie speak, and then we'll switch some people out.
There's no way they should have let this baby go with this woman. And just a friend, how do you know her? You don't know anything about her. Like, my own mother didn't even babysit my kids. There's no way I would let my child go. No way.
What do you think the likelihood is that they did a background check on this whore? They don't even do background check. They don't even
Ain't
do
no way
background.
they did. Ain't no way they did.
There's no way.
They don't even do background checks on the dudes that they have living in their house that they sleep with.
Right.
Oh,
Exactly.
no, because if they did,
They have any and everything around their children. It's like, why?
Right.
but you know what? Some of them might even know and just don't care. I don't know.
Exactly. I got a man.
As long
I
as
got
they
a
can
man.
pawn the kids off on somebody else and live the life that they want to live, I don't think it really
Exactly.
matters to them who has their kids. As long as they get
Exactly.
to do what they want And that's not the way it
I'm
should be.
out.
When you choose to be a parent, your life is no longer what should be number one. That child's life is what should be number one. Nothing comes before that child.
And I think that's the part that the mom is going to get mad at me when she, because I'm sure she'll watch it. It seems like all these parents watching my streams. But I said to the mom at the very end of that, I said, what was you doing that was so important that you had to let your kid go stay for a whole 7 days?
Exactly.
And your kid ended up in
That's your baby.
Crazy.
Like, how did your kid dead for days and nobody knew anything? Like, that don't make any sense.
Oh my God.
No, somebody knew something somewhere. Right, they didn't even check on their own kid.
You're not
calling to check on her.
How's my baby?
Where I'm calling him.
How's my baby? Is she doing good today? Did she eat? I mean,
exactly.
Hello.
And think about this. We living in a technology age where everybody got a fucking smartphone. How were they not able to Skype or Facebook?
Everybody got Facebook. FaceTime them.
Exactly. No excuse. No excuse.
There's no.
She didn't care about that baby.
Every day.
No tears, no nothing.
Yeah, I talk to my kids every day, and they're 29, 26, and 23, and I still talk to them every day. My 16-year-old, he's tired of mommy because mommy never lets him go anywhere, but I can't get him to understand. You don't know what kind of people are out there. I'm not trying to, keep you locked in the house because you have to experience life, but I can teach you the right and the wrong ways to go about experiencing life.
All right.
There's some messed up people out here.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and right there.
And it happens to boys
about your
just
kids.
as much as it happens to girls.
Exactly. That's not their baby. They don't care.
Yeah, I agree.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I agree with that. Guys, let's do this. Like, I want to bring in, we got Keyshawn, we got Kinshasa, we got Matt. We need 3 volunteers to swap out.
I'm done. I can hang up.
I can go.
I can hang up. Let somebody else talk.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for letting me come on.
Guys,
thank you very much again for letting me say something.
You're more than welcome on
anytime.
Thank you.
Good night, y'all.
Okay.
See you.
Yep, you guys are more than welcome anytime on. Let's see. Let me go ahead and do boom, boom, and one more. So now we have Addie, we got Dolores, we got Keyshawn, we got Kinshasa, and we got Matt. What's happening? So let me say this. Let me shout out the new people first. Dolores is new. Matt is new, and we got Kinshasa that's new on here. So you guys can see each other, but on the screen they can't see you. I mean, obviously that's for a reason. So because I want you guys to feel comfortable. So what I'll do is I'll do my best to try to like pass the proverbial mic over to everybody to give everybody a moment to speak. So what I want to do is I want to start with Matt first, and then we'll go to Kinshasa since you were second on, and then we'll let my sister Keyshawn speak her words and her love and all the wonderful stuff that she does. Matt, you saw how much of the story did you see, and what would you like to say about this story?
I saw the whole thing. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you good. That's good. It's better than most people's mics, so yeah.
Okay, that's great. I saw the whole story that you did, and you asked one important question, which was, where was Black Lives Matter in all of this? And I think that this goes to show the overall media narrative that when it doesn't meet the narrative of the group, that they totally ignore it. And so they're nowhere to be found in the vast majority of these cases where you see that these kids are killed, or especially to talk about something that's much played down in the media, let's talk about the number of young Black females in their teens that end up getting missing. And nobody knows what happens to them. They get sold into sex slavery and prostitution and other things like that. And that is much more common than we'd like to admit. But Black Lives Matter ain't handling that neither, because it doesn't fit their narrative.
I'm gonna tell you guys something, because I was actually supposed to be meeting with a child advocacy agency this past weekend. I'm gonna have to make a special trip Friday morning to meet with them again. He is absolutely right.
Yes.
And I'm talking about people who have dedicated their entire lives to doing this and trying to go out and actually find these children who have been kidnapped and organizing things and trying to intercept information and do what it is that they can try to do to get these kids back, because there's one child that disappears, I think it's like every 40 seconds, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That's a statistical fact. Kinshasa, what do you want to say about that?
It's really unbelievable. It's unbelievable that that a parent would even drop her child off at somebody's house, especially now. It probably been different. It was in the 1900s, like earlier, but especially now with everything happening, molestation. Why is your child naked when she had on clothes when you left her?
Did they do a rape kit on her?
We don't know yet.
I didn't hear anything about that.
Don't know yet. It's still probably a little early.
It's sick. It's disgusting. It's sickening. And everybody keeps having all these different excuses and reasons why it shouldn't be brought out. Everybody got something to hide, but it's babies. They can't even speak for themselves. And people know that, so that's a manipulation. Like, they know that they can't defend themselves against them because they're bigger than them. So they feel like, oh, you listen to adults. And see, I stopped telling my son that. He's 13, he's 5'9". But I still tell him, you respect people, but when you see some disrespect, you need to let me know.
Yeah.
I don't care who it is, family member, friend, somebody you've been around since y'all was 2 years old. It doesn't matter. A lot of people you've known all your life aren't even the people you need to be around.
Like Jake,
you have to learn how to discern the people that come into the circle. Yeah.
Yeah, touche. I agree.
Go ahead, Matthew.
I just wanted to say, I think that in today's America, how sick it is that it's normal for a culture of people, for teenagers to see it as custom or almost a regular thing to wear an RIP, your best friend or your sister or something else.
Right.
Like that shirt is more common than Tommy Hilfiger. That shirt is more common than Dinkos, than Red Bottoms, than Jordans. I don't care what you say. That shirt is more common in high school because people wear it to honor the people that they're missing. But if people knew the numbers that these young kids wear these shirts to school, and you're probably asking, like, why am I bringing up the shirts? Because the shirts are symbolic of the people that have gotten killed on the street. And until we address, like, the underlying problems, and I feel like Jay is trying to do that on his stream when he talks about fatherhood and the importance of it. Like, that is so important, and it's the number one thing that you'll never see the Democratic Party, and I'm sorry to bring politics back into this again, but I think that the two are interlinked. It's y'all are being taken advantage of, and Jay has the right idea. Get
the word out.
Fathers,
y'all do know that they are funding Biden's campaign. You do know that, right?
Black Lives Matter. Mm-hmm. The Democrats, absolutely.
They're funding.
That's actually something you can look up. Look at where Biden is getting his funding from.
But
well, I want to get back. Huge fortune, like they're donating as much as they legally can.
But I want to get back to my main observation of the tragedy of going to schools and seeing the number of kids walk around with these RIP shirts on. Like, in no other culture is that accepted. It's only in this one very small subsect of Americana that is accepted as something usual, and that's because of the number of black people that end up being killed before their 35th birthday. That is usual, and it's a travesty. I don't care what anybody says. We're losing an entire generation of young Americans, and you don't have to be black to appreciate the monstrosity that's happening. And I'm sorry, but the narrative of Black Lives Matter doesn't fit this at all, because the number one murder of other black men is other black men.
Keyshawn, what you want to say? You got the floor, sister.
That's yeah.
Now, if somebody says something that's wrong, I will cut anybody off and say what is wrong. And I didn't hear anything that I heard was wrong. Right. Just throwing it out there.
No, it's all facts. It's all facts. It's sad to say, but it's all facts.
All right, let's do us a favor because we're giving Keyshawn the floor, and your mic is a little bit low, Keyshawn. But go ahead and tell us what your thoughts are.
Okay. I just want to say hi to everybody. There was a young lady in the chat that was speaking about natural childbirth. Mm-hmm. I gave birth to all three of my natural. And I do agree because back in the way back, there was really no doctors and no medication to have babies. And if everything was a little bit more with tradition and morals from back then, they want everything else from back then, but get that from back then, maybe people would have a closer bond with their children. But I'm going on a side note. This is still Corona season. We have to pray for the children because now there's no school. They're stuck at home with the monsters that they love to go to school to get away from. Mm. So if you know somebody and you see somebody has been abusing their children, go ahead and be nosy. Like the AFC, we're nosy. We're all in your business when you kill a child. Child murderers, there is no particular nationality. They come in all nationalities, okay? So, and DJ is not a coon. Myself, I don't like niggers either. Okay? Right. And I'm black is black. I don't even like the word. First of all, the word nigger means ignorant. So anybody could be a nigger. Okay. That's all we gotta do. So everybody should be praying for children. And if you know somebody that's got a child, you thought maybe that child was abused, go out of your way. It's Corona season. You ain't got nothing to do if you ain't got no essential job or you're not back at work. Go out of your way. Check on those children. Look around. Look around at the playground. Do all that. Can't nobody stay at home no way. That's why the death rate keeps rising. Because everybody's out full force like nothing ever happened. So these kids can stop dying. We need the babies to stop dying. Story after story after story. They get emails and criticism for keeping it real. Jay is not discriminatory at all. He's allergic to stupid people. So am I. I follow Jay. And that's why I pay money to the AFC podcast because I want this to go big, like nationwide. Jay, you make sure you go ahead and regroup that appointment you got because we need to get things going.
I will. I got you.
It's only one you. It's only one you, but we got your back. The AFC podcast family is behind you.
I got you.
So you keep doing what you doing and stay encouraged and stop saying your memory bad. Your memory is not bad. You are a busy fella and you wear many hats.
I got you. Thank you, Keyshawn. And y'all see why I love Keyshawn so much, man. Let me let Kinshasa.
I love you, Keyshawn.
Let me let Kinshasa speak because she's gonna drop off so we can bring on Coco Cherries. So Coco Cherries, just hold on a moment. We're gonna bring you in. Kinshasa, give your final thoughts, and then we're gonna bring in Coco Cherry.
I'm dropping off, Jay.
All right, Keyshawn. Thank you, sweetheart.
Bye. Bye.
Well, hey, Coco.
I think she's muted right now. That's okay. But yeah, go ahead with what you were gonna say, Kinshasa. Then we'll. Okay.
Yeah, hear me now.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
We hear you now.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead, Kinshasa.
No,
then we'll go to Coco.
Because I'm gonna say a lot.
Kinshasa, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So my final thoughts is, Jay, you are awesome. You are incredible. One thing that makes a greater is someone with pure, true honesty. People do not like to hear the truth because it hurts. It hurts. It stings. The problem is if we can accept the truth, we can make a change. A lot of times it is what it is, and it's unfortunate. And it's unfortunate for children. the ones that are being killed and abused and molested and just recklessness. But with the AFC Magic podcast, I mean, I'm absolutely thrilled being a part of this. Like, I really do truly give my heart and my support when it comes to this. And I'm so glad that you are streaming this the way you are to make sure that we get more people to support. And as far as people coming saying ignorant things and harassing you and all, it's so ignorant. It's so ignorant. It is not even worth it. It's so uncalled for because that's not even the whole purpose. They're missing the purpose. The purpose are the children. So here you are adding into the insult of the children. You're not even helping. Or the people that are trying to help give them peace. I love y'all, though. That's why I said I'm going to come on tonight, even though I'm a little like hoarse. But I love y'all. I love it. Because I host karaoke, DJ This J, every Saturday. I'm a DJ, too. So hoarse.
I was excited to see you come on. It's cool to see people's faces, you know.
Oh, yeah. I'll show my face. Ain't nothing. Everything is so real with me. That's why I love Jay. That's why when people get all upset when he says stuff, I be like, facts. Then when people get on there with all the ignorant stuff, I get involved. I get real upset. I be feeling him. And I be like, thank you, because people really are letting him say things that they won't say.
Exactly.
Because instead of being honest, people like to put on a facade. Everybody got to be this, that, I'm this. It's all fake and false. And the good part about it is it's another one of me that call out the fake and false. And that's all it is. But doing it for a purpose.
But not saying.
Yeah. Sadly.
Yeah, we got my guy Dre the Dream trying to hop on here. Thank you. I appreciate that, Kinshasa.
Good night. Good night.
DJ, I want to tell you something before I go.
Yep. Dolores, you got the floor, and then I'm going to let, if you can, do me a favor, try to make it quick, and I'm going to let Coco Cherry speak, and then I'm going to let Dre speak, because he's our new guy on the panel. Shout out to my guy Dre, and then I'm going to go back to Matt, and then I really need to let Addie chop it up, too. So let's go ahead, Dolores, and then we'll go to Coco.
Just real quick and fast. I just want you to know that I know you're always saying things like, you know, how, and you're telling the truth. You're telling the truth about how all these girls don't let men, you know, take care of their children, the fathers. Well, I just want you to know that I was one of those very stubborn girls at one point in my life, but I started having a little trouble with my daughter, and that's when I gave in, and I let her go live with her dad. And I took him up to child support. And it was the best thing I ever did because my daughter's 26 years old, and she's a really good young lady. You know what? You're right. Men have to take forward. Women have to let the dad have some kind of, you know, let him be the dad. Let him do what he has to do. My daughter's name is Pamela, and she's very happy from what I did because I did the best thing for her, and everything ended up better. And he did get off of child support, and it was better. Everything was better. It wasn't easy taking him off child support, though. I'll tell you that. But I did. And I just wanted you to know.
Salute. Dolores, salute to you. What an awesome example, and thank you so much for even sharing that on our stream.
That's a cool story.
What is the vibrating? Somebody's vibrating.
Yeah, it was the best thing ever did. My daughter's in the best piece ever. Yeah, we're human, we're imperfect.
I can't hear you. Hold on. I can't hear you. Somebody's phone was vibrating, Lord. You're just a talking girl. I can't hear nothing.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying, yes, women trust the fathers. Please, it'll be the best thing you could ever do.
Yeah. All right, Dolores. Well, like I said, we'll make this available more often for you. So thank you so much for hopping on tonight.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Bye. That was a nice story.
I got my guy Dre the Dream on here. What up, Dre? But Dre, real quick, let me.
Hold on, I gotta drop off and come back on.
Okay, I'm gonna be looking for you to hop back on, bro. I got you. Coco Cherries, give me your thoughts.
I'm here. I'm so happy, like,
you know, I'll be hitting you up in your email, talking to you about different situations, and I love what you do here. I was talking to you about the Zamir Perkins situation because I knew them.
I remember
and
that.
I swear to God, like, this is the best channel ever. But anyway, I don't let my kids go nowhere. They can't go anywhere. They can't hang out with nobody. They stay with me. You understand what I'm saying? Because I don't trust anybody. Nobody. You can't trust anybody. Not even family members. But at the end of the day, with this situation today, I feel like the mother should be questioned about this situation, because I feel like there's not enough situation put against her as far as why you sitting there and trying to send your kid away for so many days. I can't even let my kid go away for so many days. And if that is the case, I'm calling. I'm video call. I need to see what's going on. You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's too much time for any situation to go down and you don't know what's going on with your kid.
Agreed.
I call every hour on hour, and that's what they with their father. They with their, I don't even care. Whoever you with, I'm calling. And my oldest is 16. And I still call his cell phone like, you good? You need to call me? You need to see? And I don't know, like, he gets mad at me about that situation because I call so often, but it is what it is. I need to make sure that my child is good at all times. I don't care who you with. And their father is a CO. I'm from New York. He's a CO. And I still don't trust nobody with my kids, even their father. So I just want to say thank you.
That's how it should be. If every mom was like you, we wouldn't need to have this channel, right? Like,
yeah. It's too much going on in the world, especially with. I don't even let my kids go outside to the store by themselves. And I live in New York. I don't even let them go outside. Like, stay inside, I'll go outside. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to your channel. I've been watching for a while. I've been trying to become a member, but they was giving me a hard time. Today was actually the first time that I could finally sign on to your channel. And they told me your PayPal and everything like that. I'm so thankful for your channel. And I'm quite sure I'll be sending more stuff in your Gmail. And we'll speak about it. But everybody, good night. I'm still here. Let y'all speak. Because I know Just Jay ready to go to bed. I see it.
I'm good. We still got a lot more coming actually tonight. But salute Coco Cherry. Salute, sister.
I love you guys. Like, have a great night.
You too.
Be well, girl.
Thank you.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We got my guy Dre is going next. Then because Pamela's new, we're gonna let Pamela come in. Shout out to Pamela. Then we'll go Addie and Matt, if that's okay. So my brother Dre, speak to us, brother man. What's happening?
What's up, Jay? I ain't been called in for a minute.
Been a while.
Hey, hi everybody else on the channel, on the panel. Man, this is kind of a crazy, but not too strange of a thing, and that's bad in my opinion. It's become too much of the norm. Our children are under siege. If that's too, I don't know if that's too tyrannical or anything like that, but it seems to me that our children are under siege. And when before Coco had dropped off, I don't know if she's still here or not, but I understand you know, the aspect of where she's coming from, to, you know, have her kids check in every hour on the hour or anything like that. Probably a necessary evil. To me, it's kind of a lot, but everybody, I can't expect everybody to have the same genuine, you know, aspect towards kids that I would. And things like this, I think it really is making it difficult for men like myself and other gentlemen that actually want to become fathers, you know, in the future. We don't even have kids, so I think that this is actually more so when stories come up like this, it's a defensive guard that it gives women to be more apprehensive from them for even wanting to procreate with us, to even put their children in the first place like this going along in the future. Do you think that that's kind of something that, I don't know, if it's going to be more prevalent in the future or what?
Dre, first and foremost, I agree with you, and I think it's a good thing for women to be apprehensive. But think about how awesome men are. If I can shout my men out, because we finally actually got 3 men on the panel, which I think is dope. But let me say this. It seems like
shout these men out, because there's some good ones out there.
Let me say this. It seems like for women, whenever women raise the bar of expectations, men seem to meet those expectations. Do they not?
Absolutely, I think so. Like right now, I mean, dude, I'm mid-30s or whatnot. I'm just now finishing my degree, but I think that I want these aspirations and these goals for myself, or I can even say that I can commit to another family to say that, you know, because the fact is I'm a person that firm believer in legacy. The thing is that I want my children to have to aspire to something, someone to look up to, you know, and within the future and things like that. And me, I just set the bar for that myself. And I think that when women, they actually set the bar for men, once they put those, I guess they have the standards within themselves to actually be able to say, okay, I'm not gonna just let anybody just run up in me or anything like that. And I think that sets the bar for a man to actually, you know, come to the table with something more than just penis or money or anything like that. You know, those things that actually kind of diminishes over time or whatnot, or becomes less important as far as keeping a relationship or anything like that, or having a relationship with their kids, you know. I mean, I've dated all women, and the thing is that I've always done things for them. I think that a lot of their original biological parents wouldn't do. I'm not knocking them for that, but it's just something that I believe, as far as being that surrogate parent or anything like that, that's a better word. Words. And they don't have these things. Like me, I want to give kids something that's outside of their norm, outside of the hustle and bustle, outside of the you know, the turmoil that they actually endure every single day, not just from being in school, but, you know, the bedlam and the neighborhoods that they actually grow up in. I'm from that, you know, so I don't want to feel like I have to have kids in the same situation that I was in. I think as far as being a parent, I think it's something that we need to do as far as not putting them in the same predicament we had to go through. So we go through the bullshit so they wouldn't have to.
Well said, man. I 100% agree. Pamela, let me go ahead and unmute your sister. Pamela, speak to us. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this story?
Well, I'm 49 years young. Okay.
All right.
I have 2 daughters that are grown. One's 22, the other one's going to be 25. The one is supposedly in college. The other one is, well, let's just say she's barely hanging on, okay? And what I mean by that is that when I call and I speak to her, I can just hear the fear and the sadness, like there's no happiness in the family unit. I'm talking about my ex-husband and his wife, okay? Because, and here's what I did want to happen when we were going through our divorce, okay? I did not want my kids to not have their dad in their life, okay? So for a while, we lived like we were roommates, okay? Even though we weren't technically divorced. But I found that that would be the best way, as my kids were so young, that they would still have a relationship with their dad. Yeah, and so that their dad wouldn't have to go out there and work 2 to 3 different jobs just to make his ends meet. But guess what? What I did not want to happen to him happened to me. And you know what happened to me because of that? I had 2 back surgeries. I broke both my ankles. Okay, I worked my butt off, and I still do. I don't stop. And you know who pays my bills? I do. I don't have no man, okay, because I don't believe that there's anybody. Well, I wouldn't say I don't believe that there's nobody good enough out there. I'm just saying that in order to be able to understand a mother who has children, you don't have to be white, you don't have to be black, you just have to be a parent to understand what it means to raise a child. You have to have that common sensibility that says, bingo, Yahtzee, I got it. And when you see everybody else out there not doing the right thing, yes, if you see something, you best say something.
Yep. So
I remember
so tell me
a
this.
while back.
So hold on. So tell me this. What do you think about, like, as far as hearing this baby's story and hearing about how the mom dumped this kid basically for a week on a so-called friend? What do you think? What do you think about that? I think it's shitty parenting.
She didn't want to be a mom. Straight up, she didn't want to be a mom for that time being. She figured, oh, I get a break, you know, and she didn't check in. If she did or she didn't check in, okay, who's to say? And then her coming back and not even crying or nothing. Oh my God, if that was my daughter or my son, I don't know what I would do. I would come right out of my skin. I mean, and my ex did not see what I went through, and nor did he care. The way he fabricated things, and these women that put their children in the hands of people that they think they can trust, then come out later to find your child dead? You need to know that person inside out, right side up, inside out, and everything else in between. You cannot take anything for granted anymore. We are in a new era. Okay? There are too many divorced women and men. There are too many single parents, babies for benefits, things like that, and that sort of thing. But it's the government that makes the mother or the father depend on them to raise their children. And when the child gets up to a certain age, then they know, oh, I'm going to lose that benefit. So what do they tell the child to do? Go get a job. You got to earn something. Instead of learning something, they've got to earn it. No, the parents need to teach the child. Maybe better yet, the parents need some talking to. The parents need to take these parenting classes, know the inside out and the right side up to know what the real deal is. And stop taking all this nonsense for granted, because we're not getting anywhere here. We're not making any leeway. We're not being the parent. We're being their friend. And a child needs a parent, not a friend. If they want friends, they have the little kids in the playground. If the little kid has a spat with another little kid, the parent is there to intervene, to mediate, and to show them the right way, so that as their tender years and growing up. And I also wanted to say something real quick. The fact with this blunt force trauma, do these parents not know or care that when a baby is born, they have that soft spot on the top of their head, right? Okay, you know how long it takes for that whole brain to mature to completeness?
I forgot. It's a while. I forget.
20 years old. 20. It's 20. For your brain to fully mature, is 20 years, and that is a fact. So yes, Jay, you're right. No, these babies, they can't say anything because they don't know what to say. They think they're under safe lock and key when they're in the midst of adults or parents or parental units, as you might call them. But you know what? Enough is enough. We need to do something like that Tom Cruise and Minority Report. We need to take preventative measures now, so this has to stop. Because I tell you what, the government sure as heck not doing anything about it. They're letting our kids die by letting these divorces to happen, custody going, and they're not going to proper mediation. They're not going into the court system and doing it right. It needs to improve, because these judges that they're putting up on the pulpit, they're biased, and they have one thing and one thing only in mind: how much am I going to make today? That's it.
Thank you so much. Let me go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it to Matt, then I'm going to pass it to Addie, then we're going to pass it back to Dre. Actually, let's do this. We're going to give everybody their closing thoughts. I'm going to go Matt, Addie, Dre, Pamela.
Hey, Jay, I'm just going to make this real quick. I think that there's a vast difference between how men look at things and how women look at things. And I think that men are more macro, they're more macro, and women are micro, whereas women tend to bring everything down to what they know and what their experiences, and compare them to their own. Whereas men see things in a more meta way. And the last thing that I wanted to talk about was that if you see something, say something. That's what I really appreciated about your last speaker. It's like terrorism. You see something, say something, even if that makes you a snitch. If we're going to talk about these high, lofty morals about putting children first always, then that needs to come first always, even if that makes us a snitch. If you see a mother mistreating a child, seriously mistreating a child, then you need to say something. I guarantee you there was a person in that position that could have done something for this kid, but didn't, because they were worried more about their street name than about that child. Well, when you put children first, I'm sorry, but that how you're seen on the street needs to matter a little bit less than how you care about them kids, whether they're yours or not. There was a person, I don't care what you say, there was a person in position that had the opportunity to stop this from happening, but didn't, because they were covering for a friend, because they didn't want to be a snitch, because snitches get stitches and end up in ditches. I kind of fell over my own tongue in that, but that's the main thing, and to what Dre said that, that he feels like black children are under threat. It's not that they're under threat. They're under a self-administered Holocaust. If you could just read, and I did this last year just as a test, if you could just read the number of young black children, their names, that were killed in a straight year, it would literally take you more than a day, and that happens every year. So, you can talk about gun violence, you can, and that's what it is. It's gun violence, it's gang violence, it's all of it. We need to start working with the police and get the criminals out of our neighborhoods if you want things to start going the other way. And you watch any episode of the First 48 where they track these murder investigations from start to finish. And you know what? It's always the same thing over and over and over again. It happens in a black neighborhood. They meet a whole bunch of resistance trying to get people to cooperate. Finally, they get one person to cooperate. Criminal goes to jail. Now, in cities like Chicago, in cities like Baltimore, in cities like Minneapolis, where the police do not get that cooperation, No one goes to jail. And what do you end up with? You end up with a Holocaust on the streets because there is no such thing as justice. And so all you have is street justice. All you have is people, instead of allowing the justice system to work itself out in the way that it should, you have people holding court on the street. And that's what it is. And while I understand it, I will, Jay, if the tables were turned, I did the same damn thing. If somebody murdered my brother, my sister, my cousin, you're going to be goddamn sure that I would do the same damn thing. You and I are not that different. We are not. I don't care what anybody says. Same motives, same opportunity, same problem. We would act in the same way. The only thing that I want to say is that I was brought up in a different culture with an intact family. And in an area of this country where the justice system prevails and where people work with the police. I want to say that those are some of the biggest differences between where I grew up and where I work.
All right.
I'm sorry to leave it off like that. I know that there was, maybe you were looking for some big conclusion there, but
no, you're good. I just want to make sure I didn't cut you off. I definitely want to make sure that you got that out. Like I said, man, if I feel like something is said that is wrong, I will say it. I agree. Dre, your closing thoughts. What do you think, Dre?
Hey, thank you, Matthew, for clarifying that for me, because I was trying to find the words earlier, but I think, I think more so of a Holocaust it is more closely to what I was trying to articulate. I think my closing thoughts are, like you said, I'm a caveat on what you said, Matthew. Yeah, that snitches get stitches. That needs to go out the window, because the thing is that it does more harm than good. And the thing is unfortunately, right now, these kids are suffering from that. I think we as parents and potential parents, I think we're not doing any kids any justice if we don't say something, or do something to say something, either or. I mean, there's not too much other than what I can say on top of what Matthews was already said. But I think that we just need to do more as far as doing for these kids. And I think that comes from an internal instinct or knowing or internal morality about oneself. If your morality is screwed up, you're going to try to find some way on how to say something to happen without actually directly saying that, hey, it's that guy that's over there. He's the one that did it. I don't know what's going on, because I mean the kid's already dead. I mean, and the thing is that I don't even want to say that this is like collateral damage from our own self-doings, but it is. You know, we put ourselves in these positions. We perpetuate a cycle of bedlam. We grow up in it. We don't aspire to leave it. Then we raise, generations of kids within it, and then we teach them how to buck the system, and then on top of that, we hope that they become, great people of society, but that isn't the cause. I mean, that isn't the case. The thing is that you get the exact opposite of that. Instead of holding people responsible, holding your children responsible, and like it was said earlier, stop being kids' friends. I don't need to be their friend. I'm here to be that parent. I'm here to guide you, because your friend is going to teach you what? They don't know anything. We have the experience. We have the wisdom, supposedly, as adults, to actually guide them. And it's for us to spark that influence, which is the immediate influence before they actually go out into society. I mean, I'm going to speak from a quick standpoint from when I was a non-commissioned officer in the military. We're the surrogate parents when kids come to us from basic training. These guys, they either don't know how to clean behind themselves. It's just bad habits that they got from home. We have to put them on the system to get right, and we have corrective measures to get that right. The thing is that if you have nobody that's getting that right for them, you got the people that's out there doing what? They're going to be out there doing things against society, doing against another member, and then they grow up, they have kids, and it's a perpetual cycle. So I think as far as an internal thing, we need to hold ourselves accountable and hold our counterparts accountable as well, because these kids, they deserve way more than what they're given. You know, I've had to teach kids how to do things, not just for the sake of just knowing things, let's say for homework or anything like that. I've taught kids things that their parents just tell them, I've seen it. Just go figure it out. Or why you not getting this? They don't understand what the heck they're supposed to be getting. You got to get that through their head. And then, you know, if they don't get that, then they're just feeling like, well, I'm just in school to do nothing. Well, why am I wasting my time in school? Because I don't see an end to a mean, or what am I doing for society? Because this is right here what I'm being taught. It doesn't mean anything. Let me go sell some ass. Let me go sling some rocks, and that's it. I mean, and drugs have gotten gangs and stuff away from why they even were made in the first place. It was like, for what you said, Matthew, earlier, it was for street justice. It was for us policing the police initially, but then it started going into drugs, and then it just went to whatever it is. I don't even understand what it is now. But guess what? Who's up there? Actually, the kids are actually becoming more and more of the collateral damage, and to me, it's just cyclical. And I think that we need to really look internally and fix those things. I mean, I kind of went all over the place, but hopefully I made some kind of sense. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you made
no, you did. That was great.
Yeah, you made great points. We're gonna go Addie, Pamela, then I'm gonna let Matt speak or piggyback off of what Dre said. Then we're gonna close out. As I want to remind you guys, we still have a part 3 tonight. Even though I'm hungry, y'all know I'm a fat boy.
After this?
Yes, I likes to eat. You feel me? But what we're gonna do is I'm definitely gonna try to give you guys as much time as I can. We're gonna go Addie, Pamela, Matt, and then I'm gonna close this out, and then we'll go to part 3.
Well, okay, so like 2 separate things. As far as this case today, this makes absolutely no sense at all. I don't believe the mom. I don't believe that she was just completely checked the fuck out that entire time. Like, it doesn't... Why was the kid laying there so long? Why was she naked with a boy running around still? Like, it doesn't... There's a lot of this case that doesn't
None of that
make
makes
sense.
any sense at all.
And then just related to everything else, like, I don't know if y'all know, I'm sure Dre knows, but it's actually a public interrogation technique, publicly known, to leave a person in a room with a tape of a crying baby. Because even, you know, grown-up humans that don't have children, there's an instinctual response to that crying. You want to do whatever you need to do to make that stop. Whether you're doing it for a caring reason or you just don't like that noise or whatever. Like, it's supposed to be instinctual within us to notice and to pay attention and to see things. And related to the snitching thing, I live in a really bad neighborhood. It's in a bad complex, and it's mostly due to meth and just poor values in general. People's behavior is awful. And I have called the cops. I called the cops twice. Not last week, but the week before. Once because my neighbor spit in my face, which was horrible. There's no way I wasn't calling the cops for that. And then the next time because we saw this little boy sprinting up the street with no shoes. He was like 5, alone, just running. And then he stopped and he kind of like looked in the complex window where the office was and then saw us and ran again. And I called the cops for that because that's weird. What's he doing? Why doesn't he have shoes on? He's 5. And we did call the cops. They came, they found the little boy, and he just thought it would be like a funny joke to run out on his babysitter when she wasn't looking or whatever. So thank goodness he's fine, but who cares? Like, if I hadn't called the cops that day, I would have been thinking about him all night. Like, what if he was running from somebody? Like, why did that happen? Like as a grown-up human, I need to know that child is okay, you know? It doesn't matter if I know him. We're destroying our children with our behavior. And I think what Pamela said and what Dre said kind of goes, and what Coco said all kind of goes back to, like, it all starts with our behavior, our individual behavior and our individual decisions. And what's behind those decisions. You know, it's so easy in these times to get caught up in like a hateful attitude, like we saw from these people this evening talking about race and whatever. But you got to be like bigger than that and say, no, like, I'm going to have a caring attitude. Like, I love you because you're a human, you know, like, if we would all just start there. And honestly, I think if we would forget about race, it would really be beneficial, but obviously that's not going to be happening. But it's not about race. As humans, we all just need to start with our own behavior. Like, we all have choices, and obviously there's a lot of people out there that are making some really, really fucked up choices, like the mom and the godmother in this situation. I hate to even call her that. I hate to even use the word mother for somebody that would treat a child like that. But I would like to know, like, a little bit more about what you said as far as you were, like, meeting with somebody, or, like, can you talk about that at this point, or is that for, like, a future?
Well, because she called me on my personal cell phone, I'm not sure yet if I could say specifically who. I'll try to get confirmation since tomorrow will be a business day. I'll shoot this individual a text and kind of see kind of where it goes from there. But just know it's a good thing. Just know it's a child advocate agency that is very participatory. I hope I said that. I don't even know if that's a word. It's gonna be a word tonight, god dang it. But they're very active. They are very actively involved in saving children. Just know that. And we somehow, let's just say that it's somebody that I went to middle school with that has kept in touch kind of over the years, kind of in the midst. But I guess apparently watches the streams, watches the channel, and watches the shows. Reached out to some people that they knew and tried to make the connection there. And I just thought, I was just really blown away. Not only did we get in touch, I could tell you this. You guys remember the guy that was given the big huge ass reward in Chicago, that advocacy group? Remember that from a couple stories ago? Actually, from our last story. You remember that?
Oh, yeah, the guy in the pink coat.
That group, I spoke to them.
Oh, nice.
So that was really dope. The fact that, you know, and I think he had called me, I believe, it was before I had to head out of town, but we got a chance to speak on the phone for quite a bit of time. But I'm going to do my best to try to get them on the stream and let them speak on here. And it's so much to talk about. So let me stop talking about that for now, but it's so much to talk about. But let's keep this concise because, yes, there is still a part 3, and we have been on here for almost 2.5 hours. So I'm going to let Pamela speak. Keep it concise, Pam, and then I'm going to let Matt speak, and then we're going to close it out.
You got it, dudes. All right, well, first, I think we all have an understanding of what we need to do going forward. First, we definitely need to watch out for the kids. For real. Like, really watch. I mean, I know we can't go into people's homes and drag the kids out, but there may come a day where we just might have to do that. And Matt, what you said about, you know, we're causing a generational holocaust. I concur with you 100%, my brother. I do. I see it. And I can feel it. And I feel like at times, like, you know, why am I even here? But you know why I'm here? Is because God meant for us to be here tonight. Okay? If God will bring you to it, God will bring you through it. We just got to make sure that we do better for our children, because, you know, what were they saying in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the decade I was born in the 70s? I was born in 71, okay? Now I wonder what our parents were saying before us and what we're going to say going into the future for the future generations. Is this what we really want? I don't think this is what we really want, do we? I think we need to keep fighting the good fight for our kids, because without them, without us, the government has no people to govern. Hello? You know, you think about it that way. Think about the ways that we can do good and make people be held accountable. Trey Gowdy said when he was served on the House Judiciary Committee, he says, rules were made to be enforced. Rules are made to protect us. That's why we have laws. Now, some people will say laws were just made to be broken. No. With that type of attitude, with that type of mental stinking thinking, we're not going to get anywhere to these kids. These kids are just keep on going down and down and down, and we can't let them, because if we fail them, we failed ourselves. That's all I got to say for now.
All right, thank you.
Just keep it real. Yep. Just keep it
well
real.
Said. I love you, Pamela. Be safe,
love you
girl.
too, Eddie. You too, dear.
Be safe out there.
Yeah, y'all be safe.
Right.
I'm staying on top of it. I'm staying on top of it because God's got me, even though nobody else does. But hey, I'm with my family, and that's what I love.
Alrighty, all right. Let me go ahead and let Matt give a few closing words. Again, keep it concise if you would, and we'll go ahead and close it from there. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, just real quick. You know, Dre was talking about him being an NCO in the military and meeting these young people who didn't even know how to, you know, wash themselves correctly. You know, I almost want to say one of the biggest things that we could institute as a country, instead of having a senior year in high school, is that, you know, you could have a boot camp instead, where instead of having the senior year, you know, our young people all go off and they go through a boot camp, and it doesn't need to be focused on violence. It doesn't need to be focused on killing the enemy, you know, like he and I went through. It doesn't need to be focused on that. But there are certain things that you do learn at boot camp that are not about violence. They're not about firing a rifle. It's about proving yourself under hard conditions, and making something of yourself. And the lessons that are learned there are so many. I feel like there's so much that is lost in the generation that we have, because we have babies raising babies, and they were never parents to begin with. They never really knew these lessons. I think that one of the best ways that we could change that is that instead of having a useless senior year in high school, that we have every single American, whether you're rich or poor, you go off to boot camp at the age of 18, and you learn what it means to soldier, not shoot rifles and kill people, you know, necessarily. I'm talking, you learn just what it is to be a grunt around other grunts. And you do that, and we all do that. Think of that. Think of how that would influence our culture in the generations to come, if we indoctrinate, if we had that idea that, you know, we had this one great experience together, whether it's not whether you were white or you were black or you were rich or you were poor. You all went through the same thing, the same ordeal together, and you could all create a common bond based on that experience. How much that would help to ameliorate these divisions that we have in our society. I don't know, Dre, I just wanted to get your opinion on that.
Oh yeah, I was up there talking in the background. Okay, yes, because Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. I think every single American citizen needs to have somewhat of a simulation of that. One, because people on the outside looking in, they will think that, yeah, all we do is, shoot and blow stuff up and get yelled at. No, it's much more than that. I think from when I was just coming in and all through basic training, it's, I always wanted to be a leader, and that was it. The thing is, at the end of the day, to me, to look at it, it's about the camaraderie. It's all the other bullshit and politics goes out of the window. It's about the person next to you. That's it. During war, when we were in war, it's about the person that's next to you. Point blank, period. He's trying to help you get home, and you're doing the same. It's reciprocated. It's just not an individualistic, mindset. It's about you and them and you, and we go home. That's great. And the camaraderie aspect of it, it forces you to be in that position of caring about the person that's next to you when you're in the military, because you just can't get up and go and quit like you're in a freaking job or something.
That's right.
I mean, you can try that. A lot of laws that we had in the military, UCMJ, it's a lot more stringent and I guess harsh than it is out here in the civilian world. Things that you get away with out here, you wouldn't get away with in the military. You do something like you're derelict. You don't want to do your job. You want to do this. Okay, guess what? Some of these things, we can take your money. And also, according to UCMJ, we can lock you up for 7 days. I mean, these are the things that but these things, it forces you to actually want to actually do right. You don't have everyone doing right, but it forces you to have a certain mindset about this. You know that, hey, the stuff you get away with before you put on that uniform ain't the same thing when you put on that uniform when you come into the military and stuff. But I think that as far as that, like you said, Matt, it brings people together. It forces people to bring each other together, because guess what? When you're in combat, you can't call up your homeboys and stuff and be like, hey, man, let's go ride up on whoever. It's the person that's next to you. You think your homeboys is going to be wanting to do that? I've talked to a bunch of my homies. They like, man, I don't know how you did it. I couldn't do it. But you got to rely on the person that's next to you, no matter if they black, orange, humpback, midget, don't matter.
But what about the kids that cannot do that? Like, what about the kids that physically cannot go to a year-long boot camp?
The thing is that physically, your mind, the thing you learn in the military, also, I'm going to cover what Matt said earlier, you can push your body and your mind does that. It's not just about the physicality about it, the physiology about being a service member. It's more of the mindset, and your body follows behind the mind. So I think as far as, beyond the physical aspect of something, you have to embed that within your mind to actually get something done. You have to force yourself to being this type of person. So, I mean, there's a bunch of people that can go out there and let's say that some people that can't do a 12-mile ruck march. I've always challenged myself by what? I've always done 100 pounds of mine. I was getting ready for special forces. That was it. But everybody else, they'll do the minimum leg. This is what I want to do. But guess what? It's in your mind when you want to do something. So the mindset is what sets your body up for anything that you want to do. That's why they say you'll see some overweight guys. They can run a faster 2 miles than I can. I'm physically and aesthetically more looking like they're in shape, but this person can run a lot faster than I can.
No, I mean, so
guys, if
you are paralyzed in a wheelchair, right? How are you going to put those kids in like a platoon or a group with a bunch of other kids that can run? Like, how are you going to keep, like, if you make the whole nation do this, right? How are you going to keep the kids that, like, literally physically cannot, like, it is not happening? Like, how are you going to put them in the same? Are you going to put them off in like a special thing? Or I just don't think it would work to be like everyone has to do this.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Joe, you was going to invert?
Yeah, we're gonna have to close it out, because I mean this could go for a while. That's why I was saying.
Okay, my bad.
I literally said everybody give their closing thoughts. Because otherwise, like, I'm gonna have
to this out before I can say it.
Otherwise,
I'm a Marine Corps veteran. Okay. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I knew I wanted to be a Marine when I was in the 2nd grade. I knew it even more when I was in the 8th grade. But I definitely knew where I was going when I was standing on those yellow footprints at Parris Island, South Carolina. Thank you very much. Semper Fi means always faithful. Always faithful. Hello?
Yeah.
That's what, there's children that can't do things physically. They can do things in their minds. They can figure things out like an administrative level, perhaps, or maybe a teaching, others, like each one teach one or something like that. What you cannot do physically, like you said, it's all a mindset. It's in the mind. If it's mind over matter. One thing I said all the way through boot camp was just do it. That Nike saying, just do it, Pam. Just do it. And I breezed right through. I was like, forget these people. I'm off. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's get it done. Because that's what I came to do. And I did it.
It's FM or AM. That's what we always said in 82nd. We always said FM or AM. Or false motivated or always motivated. But you got to be motivated.
That's right.
All right. I want to thank you guys. And y'all have a great night. And we're going to go ahead and close it and cut it right there. Okay?
All right. Peace.
All right.
All righty.